Hi everybody, Paul McFarland here, again with another look at Chiat Day. And I decided to go back into CA84 for a landmark commercial that Apple did. It's one of the lesser ones as far as lore and talk, but it's significant on many levels, which I think relates to today. Now, the story I'm going to tell you is about this spot, which is with this little soft piano, and yes, Kevin Costner, but no one knew who he was. Bicycling, of course, because it's California, and the bicycle, loomed large in the mythos of Apple. Bicycling into an office when the janitor's cleaning, he's the only one there, goes to his office with his dog, and the dog follows him in, sits under the desk, it's just all casual. He touches a mouse and a Lisa computer, that was what came out before Macintosh. It was open and he's looking at a spreadsheet and all that, and he's thinking, the phone rings, he just says hi, because he knows it's his wife, I guess. And he says, yeah, I'll be home for breakfast. Because what the announcer says is quite interesting. This is 1984. This actually was produced, well, Adrian Lyne was the director on this, not Ridley Scott, but that's when they were kind of bringing Apple into that space. Shot just months before 1984. Because with the announcer, Ed Grover, the great Ed Grover, I remember I called his agent once, and we did, Ed Grover, send your voice over, because he was great. And what he says is, the way some business people spend their time has very little to do with a clock. He's coming in, before sunrise practically. At Apple, we understand that business as usual isn't anymore, as we see the dog looking up under the desk. That's why we make the most advanced personal computers in the world. And why soon there'll be just two kinds of people. Those who use computers, yeah, I'll be home for breakfast, and those who use Apples. So again, 1984. This is, was an IBM world. Apple was coming up with Macintosh and all the stuff that we all are using and love now. But at that time, what was really interesting is that there was a very, very much underground California progressive hip Apple vibe and a traditional do things the normal way IBM. Suits and skyscrapers and casual, right? So what this commercial does, it tries to say, if you're one of our people, oh my gosh, you should be working with an Apple. And if you wish you could be like this cool, handsome, young Kevin Costner, who hasn't shaved yet, he's very sexy, but he's confident and relaxed. He's walking through an office that looks like maybe has 50, 70 people, but he must be a CEO. He's got an office with Japanese design, and it's just everything just right. The thinking, philosophic, neo-hippie sort of Apple customer. And the idea that they're saying they make most advanced computers. Now, advanced is really saying most advanced is not something you have to defend, but it was a great thing to say. And that idea that we understand that. In other words, we understand that's how business is starting to change. And technology, because it draws you. And the idea that an Apple wasn't a computer that you had to work with, it was one you wanted to work with. And the fact that you kept going back to it, almost like his other woman at the office. He goes there to dream and to think and to visualize his ideas and his numbers. The fact that we're showing charts, of course, was for the business, doing forecasts of, what if we move this pie slice over to here and we pulled this up here? What we do next year? All that kind of visionary stuff a CEO is all about. They were owning the new CEO. And this was the first time they tried to put a face on it and a vibe to it. That idea that you were probably California You were riding a bike. You were up earlier than anyone else, probably on a weekend working. You never stop, but you love your wife, and it's like having your cake and eat it too. A very yuppie thing in a way, but a West Coast yuppie thing. So what does this mean? Why should you care in 2022 about what happened in 1984? Oh, you're a contrarian curmudgeonly. Yes, no, I'm not. The point is, today, whatever you're working on, whatever your business is, you may have something as perennial as beer or fast food. You may have something as new as the latest SaaS product. You may have spiritual coaching. Doesn't matter, whatever it is. Never miss the opportunity to actually state the obvious, that who you are and how you understand your target audience that's yearning for something different. And show it in a way that makes it so sexy and irresistible. This is the way things are going to be. And in a lot of ways, they did. People started working longer hours. People started going casual to work. And people started becoming more immersed with their computers. More and more with Apple, with Macs. True. True, true, true. And all the money that Apple has was built on that. They made it all because of the iPhone and the iPad. The point is, it was built on that, laying the foundation for an alternative way of living and working. So today, the democratization of technology and the incredible accelerative trajectory of the democratization of technology. Ooh, those are some words. But you know what I mean. It really means that back then, it was pretty much all this way, and it was almost binary. It really was. And now, it seems like it's a big soup. So, a computer company, if there was even such a thing anymore, isn't really going to say anything like this anymore. But what is it about your target audience and what you have that you could potentially say you're leading a new way of thinking, being, living, and doing? Well, if you make it look really attractive, aspirational, beautiful, and sexy, don't be surprised that people will come knocking on your door to say, tell me how. Do that on TikTok.